Welcome to Unit 1. This unit is meant to be a foundation for your exploration of the implementation and evaluation of educational technology. We'll delve into several questions in this unit, including why seek out educational technology? Is it always the right answer? How is educational technology used in the classroom? What are ways we can use it? Where should one start when integrating educational technology into the classroom? We want to remind you that this course isn't just for future or current teachers who want to implement educational technology in their classrooms. It's also for entrepreneurs, developers, practitioners, and others who aim to get a sense of the educational technology landscape in schools and an understanding of the issues, including benefits and challenges of implementing educational technology in the classroom. As we learn about the ecosystem of educational technology in schools, we'll hear from teachers and those who work closely with them. Rather than just learning frameworks, you'll hear about how educational technology gets implemented in real life. The course will lead up to a final project, developing an implementation and evaluation plan for an educational technology. If you've never developed a plan like this, don't panic. This course is designed to help you do it. All of the course content is meant to help you think through the various issues and factors. In a MOOC, coordinating individual feedback can be challenging. To help with that, we ask that everyone consider joining a group in the forums. These smaller communities can serve as another avenue for providing and receiving feedback. We have two types of groups: affinity groups and survey-based working groups. More information on groups and the peer review process is available on the course platform in Unit 0. Each week we'll have assignments where you'll be asked to provide feedback in the forums. We recommend taking a look at the assignment prompt ahead of time to have it in mind as you go through the videos. Before we get started, we wanted to make sure you understood the main stakeholders involved in the implementation and evaluation of educational technology. Greg Schwanbeck, who teaches at Westwood High School and also works as an instructional technology coach there, introduces us to some of those stakeholders.
The key stakeholders when considering educational technology are the students. It's their education. They're the ones who are going to have to use it. They're the ones who are going to have to interact with it day to day. And they're the ones who are going to see the real benefits from it. Second stakeholder would be teachers. Teachers have to work with the technology every day as well. And it's got to be something that fits with the teacher's teaching style and is practical and easy for teachers to implement. Secondary stakeholders would be parents and administrators, because they're the ones who are going to end up paying for the technology when all's said and done. And finally, ed tech companies are also another stakeholder to consider, especially for a teacher or an educator who's considering what technologies to bring into their classroom. The reputation and the longevity of the company and how trustworthy the company is another thing to consider.
We've also mentioned evaluation a few times, but we haven't defined it. Evaluation is a key and necessary part of using educational technology in the classroom. Teachers and others need to know if their interventions are effective and successful. They also must decide what effective and successful mean. We want you to think about evaluations as you develop your project. Though we'll concentrate on evaluation in Unit 4, it is an important thread in this course, and that's why we're talking about it here in Unit 1. Here to help us get situated is Ilona Holland, an experienced evaluator who was previously affiliated with the Harvard Graduate School of Education.
Assessment is a term that professionals use in a wide variety of settings. If you read about assessment, you're going to see it appearing everywhere. In a book on evaluation, there can even be chapters that say this type of assessment. Since the audience is primarily interested in schools and schooling, assessment in that context is very typically a moment where you step back and you document a state of being, whether it's a state of how well a child is reading, whether it is a state of how well they are progressing in math. It's really kind of taking a freeze frame. I'm going to stop at this moment and see where you are. And that is very, very different from evaluation. But the terminology assessment has a more generic definition where it really generically equates with evaluating generically, where we make judgments. That's what it is. And so consequently, it can get very confusing. But if we think for today's purposes of assessment as being that freeze frame moment of documentation of what is my health condition at this moment? What is my performance on a reading test at this moment? That's what I'm going to think about as assessment. Now, evaluation is very different from that because it has two parts. One part is formative and the other part is summative. Formative evaluation is used when you are developing a product or a program, where you want to get feedback to know, how am I doing? I know where I want to end up, but there are lots of decisions to be made between where I am now and where I want to end. So I'm going to go out and gather feedback in a very systematic way, not just willy-nilly, off the cuff, very systematic way to be sure that I'm actually progressing in the development of this product the way I want to. Summative evaluation, on the other hand, takes place at a different point in time. It's after the project or program is considered finished, completed, ready to implement, ready to have widespread usage. That's when you stop and you look and you say, let's see how well this has actually accomplished our goals. Or if you actually have it out in the field, how well is it being implemented? Is it working in this classroom setting? So summative kind of looks at it with the idea of not improving it, but perhaps with the idea, do we want to buy this product for our classroom? Do we want to continue implementing it? Do we want to look for something else? Is this indeed working to meet our goals? So implicit in that is that you know what your goals are. And that's a very important part of evaluation, that the evaluator understands your goals very clearly and that you can articulate them very clearly and explicitly so that you know and the evaluator can know, how are we doing against these goals?